but the girl looked over at me.
Is that true?
I laughed. Why?
What do you TA for?
Chemistry. Her face fell.
Oh, I'm majoring in economics. I need help.
The rest of them laughed again. I set the beers down, and Kelly waved me over toward a bottle of Swedish vodka. I made myself a weak drink and sat down. Nathan came out of the bedroom with a girl I'd seen around the building the past few months. I couldn't shake the feeling that she had to be a cam girl or porn actress on the side because she just radiated sex appeal in every direction. She was about 5 feet 6 inches, long blonde hair, firm tits like ripe grapefruits, and a taut waist leading down to a tight, athletic butt. She dressed to play up every bit of it, wearing short tops, booty shorts, or tights, or cutoffs that were short enough to expose her ass cheeks. I'd never talked to her, but she was way out of my league anyway. I greeted Nathan, but he hardly seemed to notice me. The girl was hanging on him, whispering something. He laughed. What she was doing with Nathan, I had no idea, but they seemed to be on the verge of a hookup. They left the apartment without a glance at anyone else. Damn, I said. How'd Nathan end up with her? Kelly laughed. I don't know, man. She just showed up tonight with that bottle of vodka.
Do you know her?
The girl asked me. Seen her a few times. That's it, I said. Another girl in the group spoke up. Her name's Sabrina. I don't think she lives in the building, but I've seen her around. She's kind of a bitch. The rest of us nodded. She seemed like the type. The Asian girl who needed help with her economics scooted over next to me.
Are there really TAs who do stuff like that? She asked.
I doubt it, I said. We're not even supposed to date students in our sections. I had to sit through an hour-long training session on sexual harassment when I started as a TA, where they went over that kind of thing. Someone who got caught doing it would probably get expelled. She looked disappointed.
Oh, for sure. I get the harassment stuff, but what if they both wanted to work something out? If it was all consensual, I mean. Wouldn't that be okay?
I looked at her. Do you really need that much help?
My parents are super strict, and there's this one class I might get a B in.
I rubbed my forehead briefly. I wish I could help you, but I don't know anything about economics.
I'm just wondering, if one of the students in your section suggested something like that, what would you do?
I weighed my words carefully. I have too many student loans to risk my tuition remission for a blowjob. She nodded.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Thanks.
I went back to my apartment about an hour later to get started on my reading. I tried to focus on the textbook, but kept envisioning Sabrina's tits in my mind. I knew I would never get to see them, but I could imagine them. Perfect, gravity-defying orbs topped with ripe, pink nipples. They had that look to them, like they needed no support, despite the tight top she'd had on. Ugh. I forced the fantasy out of my mind. I hadn't gotten laid since the past summer, and the last thing I needed to be doing was distracting myself with a girl I had no chance with. The next morning, I dropped the graded exams off with Dr. Vicenza. Since I had no classes until late, I drove over to see my grandmother. Grandma Amy was the only family I had left. She lived in an assisted living facility about 15 minutes away. Though I'd gotten full scholarships to a couple of good schools, I picked Huntington because it was the closest to home, and we would still be able to see each other regularly. I'd been with Grandma Amy pretty much my entire life, ever since my parents were killed in a car accident when I was 4, and she'd had to raise me alone. She'd never married, and no longer had any contact with my grandfather, to the point that she never even talked about him. We didn't have much beyond each other when I was a kid, but it was enough to get by. She was frugal to a fault, and I learned to make do with as little as possible. For the most part, Grandma Amy gave me a good childhood. She had a few odd fixations, like insisting I study Latin in high school and college. She'd studied it herself and told me over and over how it helped with all her other subjects. She was also the one who steered me into majoring in chemistry, spending a large portion of my youth showing me a variety of little tricks and fun things to do with household chemicals. I found that I liked it, so I didn't argue. Our meager financial situation meant